Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Julie. If you are a continued supporter, thank you very much. If you're new here, welcome. I will be planning an adventure for you today. You will have to stay tuned to see what it is. Hi everyone, I'm coming to you from a sunny but cold, beautiful Sunday morning. I am hoping to finish the elephant. I have the tail and the ears, one for each side. The ears actually have two parts. They have an upper part of the ear and a lower part. So I actually have 5 little pieces to make, and then I have to stuff them and sew them on. So hopefully I will get that finished for you today, and I will have a complete elephant. Okay, so like I said, the ears have 2 parts. One they call a bigger part, and the other one they call a smaller part. So I have to make 2 of each of those, and then the tail here. And then they kind of give you a bunch of little directions here, what you have to do to sew them together. Okay, so I read through the directions for both parts of the ear. And what surprised me was that both of the ears, both parts, you don't have to stuff. See right here, it says do not stuff, and this one here says do not stuff. Which I guess kind of makes sense because elephants in real life, their ears kind of, flap around in the breeze, or when they run, they almost like they're waving at you. But, I thought from the picture, because the picture looks like this is like a bulb, like that it would be stuffed like the foot is. But I guess it's not. So I'll just have to see what they look like when I get them crocheted, and and see how that's going to work out. I know it does say though that you down here in this part here that you sew the bigger part on, and then you sew the smaller part on, and you actually sew the 2 pieces where they touch together. So I guess we'll give it a try here. So we join it here in that 13th row, cut a long tail, fasten it off. And I gotta pull out my row marker here. Okay, make sure that, the tail's inside good. Okay. So, this is what it looks like. I have both of them made here. I'm assuming that you push it down because it says just to sew across here. Oh, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, that makes total sense. Okay. Yeah, when I was thinking, because that looks weird, but that makes sense. If you squish, oh, I'm sorry, you probably couldn't see that. I squished it together, like this one is how it's made. But I squished them inside and said you probably, sew it here, which you do. But that makes sense, because if you hold it this way and you hold it fully bulbed out, see how different they look? But this side here on the right looks like it's supposed to. So this one here, you just smush it together right before you sew it. So that makes sense. Sometimes when you're working on these things, it doesn't, you can't picture what the end result looks like, but this looks exactly like how elephants do. So now I just have to make the bottom portion of the ears and get them sewn on and move on from there to the tail. Okay, so I have the 2 smaller parts of the ear done, and I'm going to leave these kind of, bulbed out when I sew them on, because that's what it looks like in the picture. Remember I said I thought that they were, you know, stuffed. So I'm going to get working on sewing these on the head and then the tail. Okay, so I have both the ears sewn on. And that's what he looks like from the front, from the top, the side, the back, around back to the front. Okay, so onto the tail. Okay, so for the tail, the first thing we do is to chain 11. So I'm going to make a slip knot here real quick. I guess I probably should do that slower in case, like, if someone's new to this. So you just wrap it around your finger. Basically, you're making that magic ring, except you're bringing the tail over the top. For the magic ring, you do it the other way with the tail on the bottom. But for this one, you want the tail on the top. You just bring this tail up through that loop you just made and pull it tight. And that's your slip knot. So for a chain, you just insert your hook into that loop you just made, yarn over when you wrap it around the yarn, and then you just pull it through. So that's one chain. So we have to do 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11. Now it says we slip stitch in the second chain from the hook, which this is your first one here. So we do it this one in a slip stitch. You insert it into the stitch, yarn over, and pull it right through. Okay. Now it says open the remaining 9 chains, and then we fasten off. So that was 1 more, 2 more, 3 more, 4 more, 5 more, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and then fasten off. Okay. And it doesn't say how long the tail we need, so we'll just fasten it off like that. Okay. So now it says knot 2 strands of the sky yarn through the last stitch so that when knotted, it makes a short tassel of 4 strands. So basically, I've got 2 already here. We'll trim this one up a little bit. And that way I can use this one. So let's see, we're gonna insert right in the middle here and try to pull that yarn through. Whoa, I almost pulled it completely through. Okay. And we're gonna knot this one. And then I think I'm gonna knot these ones as well. I don't want them coming apart, so we're just gonna knot it. So now I've got 4 strands. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. So now it says sew onto the back bottom of the body. So I need another little piece of yarn here. We're gonna thread our yarn needle. Okay, we're gonna grab this end Leave that loose a little bit so I can knot it. Get these out of the way. Get my crochet hook out of the way. All right, so the bottom of the body, I'm going to assume we're going to put it right in the middle of his back somewhere. So right around in here. We're just going to come up wherever. Okay. Try to keep this out of the way. I'm going to make a few loops here just so that it'll stay in place. Okay. I'm going to bring that back through the back. All right. Take my yarn needle out, and I'm gonna knot these two together. Okay. I'm gonna come up through the center. This is the center of my magic ring. I'm gonna come up close to where these come out, and I'm gonna pull them inside the body. Maybe I'll do one at a time. There's one. I got it coming out the center of his magic ring. Now I'm gonna grab the other one. All right, hopefully it'll work here. This yarn is so soft, it just, oh, there we go. I might have lost it. Oh, I caught the stuffing. All right. See, I show my struggles. I'll try this again. Come on. All right. So I'm going to try to keep the stuffing in, but I'm going to cut these off here. And then I'm actually going to tuck everything back in that hole because it's not supposed to come out. Okay, so there we go. So there's the tail. Hopefully you can see that fairly well. That's what he looks like when he sits. And I have to show you guys something. Let me grab it here. Okay, remember when I was talking about how I was worried about how much yarn I was going to have? Well, this is the ball. It's hard to tell, but I'll set it in front of the elephant. So I have plenty of yarn. I had enough to finish here. So anyway, that's my elephant. And she calls him Edward. Yep, Edward. So there's Edward. All right. Thank you, everyone. I hope you have a great day. Bye. Thank you, everyone, for watching the video. If you liked what you saw, would you please hit the thumbs up, give me a like, and if you have any comments or questions, please put them in that area below. And if you'd like to, please subscribe. I know I'm not a very large channel yet, but I do plan on putting out a video every week or every other week. So thank you for your continued support. Hope everyone has a great day. Bye.